Welcome to another Learning with Lyndon video. Today we are putting up the front fence. So reusing all the original pickets, all the original uprights. The way we're doing that is we are cutting off all the rotted wood at the bottom of all the uprights because that was pretty much unusable. That's why the whole fence was leaning over. And we are putting in stirrups instead, so concreting them in the ground. It's a bit of a tutorial of how to do it, but mainly just an overview of the process that I went through. Took quite a few days, and putting up pickets perfectly takes time. So enjoy.
Take 2 with my microphone running hopefully this time. So we are going to be digging some holes for the fence posts today. The posts won't be going directly in the ground. We've got some little stirrups, which I'll show you over here. These bad boys, so I've got to dig about sort of 25 centimeters into the ground for each of the different holes. Having 4 posts each side of the arbor, and it's the only bit of sunshine we've had for about a week. So I'll take this opportunity to quickly get some holes dug.
Watch me ponder life here as I'm checking twice for once before I cut off the rotten piece of wood. If I get this in the wrong spot, then I don't have an extra post to replace it with.
Okay, so cemented in the first post, pretty terrifying. Just poured it in. Let's have a quick look. Just got the fence pickets holding it upright. Seems to be level and at the right height, so just going to do another 7 of those. And easy, right? Okay, so I have 4 in now. I will admit I screwed up on this post here. I put the string line on the wrong side of the post. So I was out by 3 centimeters the whole way down. Luckily I'd only done 2 at that stage, so fixed it on the other end. So the first 2 are out by a few millimeters, but not too much in the scheme of things. Now it's looking nice and plumb the whole way along. Get the other 4 done tomorrow. So far so good. And the quick set. That is 8 posts in now. Torrential rains forecast for tomorrow, so hopefully it all stays in one piece. But pretty happy with that. Now to put the posts on.
The most time-intensive thing about using old materials, again, is refurbishing them. So here I am just going over all the long cross members and sanding them.
Okay, today's mission is to get these front poles up and get the cross beams attached. It's going to be a bit of a puzzle because I'm trying to reuse the original wood that was on the fence, or has been on the fence for the last 30 years. Here's what it looks like at the moment. And I'm going to be needing a pole at the top and a pole at the bottom so we can secure the pickets to it. Because we've now got different lengths, because we're not running the entire way along the front fence with this gap in the middle for the arbor, we're going to have to cut them to different lengths, which could be frustrating. But you'll see. I'll chuck it on time lapse and bring you back for any significant parts.
The most challenging thing about not having a shed or a garage set up at the moment is having to set up a temporary one. So here I am just putting one in the carport so I can chop the cross members to length. And we have a delivery of the freshly painted old pickets. So for every post, as you just saw, we are pre-drilling and then putting through some stainless steel bolts to hold the stirrups to the original posts.
Dad, could you grab the level to your there and just put it on one of the other posts and see if it's sort of... Have we pulled everything out? Maybe that post there?
Let me do something.
Yeah, that post? Yeah, on there. Yeah, just see if it's level.
Level as in...
Up and down. That side, yeah.
side.
Ish.
Close.
Which way is it leaning?
If you want a level, you need to lock it in this way. But it's that close, Matt.
Yeah, okay.
It's between the lines.
Cool. That's
as long as you keep in between the lines.
I always say you got to keep between the lines.
Yeah. A bit of father, son of advice, huh?
going for it.
Nailing. Cool. With all the cross supports in place, we're now doing a bit of standing in preparation for putting the pickets on tomorrow. As always, it's not just me doing all the work, I've got plenty of helpers, and that's one of the things I love about DIYing things, is getting friends and family over and getting them involved. It's great.
Okay, we are getting into the pickets today. So yesterday we were able to get all the uprights attached, which is great. So they're bolted in the bottom, and the, I guess you call them cross braces on. It looks a bit straighter than what it used to, which is great. We are using wood that's 40 years old, so you know, I've got to take that into account, I guess. But overall, pretty happy with the work yesterday. Today's goal is to get the pickets on, and if I'm really enthusiastic, I'll get that cemented in. Alright, take two. I'm just going to bring you through the process that I've come up with for the pickets. This is my first time doing a picket fence, so I'm just sort of figuring it out as I go. Luckily I do have some pre-made tools from someone who's already done a picket fence, so let's have a look. So the process is, I've got my picket over here. I've just decided on a height for the first one. I've got this little spacer with a sort of a nail out the back as a hook to go over the rail. Wedge that in. Once you've got that in there, put the picket on, get it to the right height. Then I'm using a sort of a quick clamp for the bottom, making sure it's hard up against the spacer, pre-drilling, then putting my stainless steel decking screw in, and rinse and repeat. So take that off, make sure the gap down the bottom is the same. So apart from this first post where I've got some bolts in the way, I've got a spacer for the top and for the bottom, so I have those spacers identical, and I'll just do it with the second one. For the next one, because I'll have to get the height the same obviously, I'll put the spacer in, get this here, get it roughly right, and then pop the clamp on the bottom sort of loosely, get my level, pop it on the top, sort of rest it on both, and then you can kind of move it down a little bit until it's level. When it's level, tighten up the clamp, keep the level on there, I reckon. Hold the picket hard up against the spacer, and then pre-drill and screw. Rinse and repeat.
Okay, I apologise for that description. I don't know why that idiot decided to pretend he was a professional after putting on 0.5 of a picket, but the general process was, after you get that first picket to the height that you want, get it on nice and level, because you'd be basing the rest of the pickets off that. I would put both spacers on, so hook them over the beams, or the cross struts, whatever you call them, and grab your second picket, put it up hard against that, and then you chuck the level on top after you sort of eyeballed it, get it level, hold it there, clamp the bottom, and then make sure it's hard up against the spaces. Double check your level again, because you don't want to be screwing that up. Pre-drill and then screw the top one. I didn't really care where I put the top screw. You can try and get them in a nice level or line if you wanted to, but you don't actually notice in the finished product. I've got a countersink bit when I'm pre-drilling, so I can get those screws in nice and tight or flush at the front, and I'm pre-drilling because everything is Jarrah, the beam and all the pickets. So what, 40 years old, 30 years old or something like that. And that's really the process. So I did also realize that the block is sloping slightly. So what I did to compensate for that is put the level on the cross strut, and you could see the little bubble in the middle is just slightly off to the left. And so I found that when you were trying to get them level on the top, you would get level, just put it up a tiny bit, see the bubble sort of roughly in the same spot, and that would offset it by about 1 millimeter per picket. And that was enough to get this nice level the whole way along. Otherwise you get this effect where the cross beams are sort of going down slightly and the pickets are all perfectly level, but they start to rise as they're going up. Well, as you're going down the block, they kind of go up. So just something to keep in mind, something that I did, and it turned out really well actually. Apart from that, just rinse and repeat.
That. So I plan to put all the water in. It says put the water in first.
Does it?
Yeah.
On this one?
Yeah,
Oh.
because it sets so quickly. So fill it with water basically.
Oh.
And quickly tip it in and give it a little mix.
See, by pouring that in, I suppose it's good, straight away you can make it mix. Yeah.
Right, so front archway has just been concreted in, and now to let it dry overnight. Successful day. We have got ourselves a finished fence. Needs to be painted, of course. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out.
So happy with how the fence has turned out. So we just need to paint it, and next week I'm going to come back and get the little gate installed inside the arbor. See you then.